Hey, the reporter funny, though. He said, I think we just want to know why you can't run the football. Hey, but what's funny is what you said, Stone. He came in there and he marked his ground.
He peed around that podium.
Yeah, he marked his ground,
Yeah.
and then it made everybody else mark their ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you want to know you want to know what you didn't do on third down, but we want to know why you can't run the football.
Yeah.
Did you see the last play? That's all you need.
Light it.
The Triple Option is brought to you by Wendy's. Wake up with Wendy's 2 for $3 breakfast.
Light it.
Welcome to the Triple Option. Rob Stone, Mark Ingram II, Coach Urban Meyer here with you. This week on the show, an early peek at the NFL draft board with draft expert Todd McShay. There are 3 ranked games in college football this week. We're going to pick them all. Brian Kelly spars with reporters. And what do we make of Georgia off that walk-off win in Knoxville? As always, thanks for joining us here on The Triple Option. Rate, subscribe over at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is you find your podcasts. You can find us on social media. We love to interact with you all. We are at 3X Option Show. New episodes every Wednesday on YouTube or wherever it is you find your podcasts. Are we ready now, guys? Like, this was a classic example of on any given Saturday, stuff happens in college football. All right. So Texas A&M goes to South Bend. They drop the Irish to 0-2. By the way, Notre Dame still ranked at 0-2. Georgia Tech, a lot of us called it, walked off Clemson in Atlanta. The Tigers, their second loss on a field goal as Tom expired this season already. Vanderbilt. Mark, you remember what Vanderbilt did to Alabama last season?
Everyone wants to bring that up. It's okay.
I know. I'm sorry. Well, they took down South Carolina, minus Lenora Sellers, by the way. But we are going to dig in with Georgia's come-from-behind overtime win in Tennessee. I think all of us, except for maybe you, Coach, were in the air as this one was going on. Tennessee up 21-7 in the first quarter. 8-point lead with 6 and change in the fourth. Missed a 43-yard field goal with 3 seconds left. So we go to overtime. And then in the end, Georgia does Georgia things. 9th win in a row for the Dogs over the Vols. Mark, your first big takeaway while we were watching that game, the thoughts that were going through your body as everything was transpiring, particularly there in the fourth quarter.
Well, I thought, for one, Joey Aguilar balled out for Tennessee. Like, you cannot put this on him. He had this team in position to win the game. They have, at the end of the game, they're probably, a kicker, a distance that the kicker should make, right? They have a false start penalty, back them up 5. The nerves are still going. Then we missed a kick. So I thought Joey Aguilar played well, but bigger picture, Georgia, they just stayed in the game. Even when it was looking dark, they just stayed in it. They never gave up. They ran the football well. Gunnar Stockton was efficient, 23 for 31, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Georgia just continues to do Georgia things. Kirby plays. He runs the football. Their defense struggled. You know what I mean? They didn't look like a Georgia defense. But big picture, they went on the road into a hostile environment against a quarterback who played extremely well, and they found a way to win. That's what Georgia does. That's what Kirby Smart does. He was my defensive coordinator when I was at Alabama, and he still has the recipe.
A quick hit on these things. I just wrote this down. Tennessee, Georgia, Notre Dame, A&M, and Clemson, Georgia Tech had one thing in common, that every game came down to that field goal team. Yep. They jog on the field, and think about that for a minute. And I used to, I actually got in arguments with coaches along the road because I became a special teams nut job when I became special teams coordinator at Notre Dame. And then you start studying the analytics of how critical, not just everybody says the kicker. I get that, but someone dropped a snap too in the Notre Dame game. And then obviously Georgia Tech hit the bomb for the win. So we used to practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a lot of guys say, why are we doing field goal every day? And I was like, guys, listen now. You work on that once a week, and you're going to let the players play 69 and a half minutes, and then you jog that team out there and they screw it up. So, I mean, it's amazing and great football, Coach, but, man, think about
Coach,
losing a game like that.
Coach, they say 3 things have to go right for you when you kick a field goal. Snap, hold, and a kick. So the more you practice the operation, the more confident you are in it when you have to go out there and hit the game winner. It's a shame. Notre Dame's season came down to a missed extra point, Coach.
Think about that. And it wasn't missed. He dropped the ball.
Yes, snap.
Notre Dame's not done, but they're hurting. They're hurting.
They can see
right
the
now.
end.
Those are two quality losses.
You got to hope Jordan Maeva and USC are.
USC's ranked now. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Notre Dame's season is done, but they're hurting. Let's talk though about the SEC. Where does the SEC title run through? Does it run through Athens right now, Mark Ingram?
Well, they always say you have to beat them, right? So, yeah, you have to beat the champs. So it does run through Georgia, but
not through Austin. Not through Austin, not through Tuscaloosa. You say Athens.
I don't think it runs through Tuscaloosa right now. Tuscaloosa has to go take it. Austin has to go take it too.
Are we sleeping on A&M?
Yeah. The one team that I say it does has the most chance to run through is LSU, Baton Rouge.
We'll get to Baton Rouge in a second.
That's who Coach, I think that it might run through.
Coach, you saying College Station? Let's give them some votes.
Yeah, because that's one of the programs that's to me has always been an enigma. Why can't you win? They were very competitive in the Big 12, the Big 8 conference, the Southwest Conference, and then the higher-ups make a decision and let's move to the SEC, and they've been relatively irrelevant. They have not been the player they should be. Best facilities, incredible budget, great high school football within a 3-hour radius, and here you go, a trophy case that's empty. I don't understand that. They got a heck of a coach now, and I saw his fire on the side. You see him throw that chair? There's a great...
The chair.
There's a great
they got to put that chair in the A&M Hall of Fame, right? Like somebody's got to have a spot for that chair.
But I mean, that's the energy. You're on the road at Notre Dame, and I love that. And to see they walk away with a win. So there's, all the excuses of places that can't win, Texas A&M has 0.000 why you can't win there, and they haven't. A trophy case that's empty, and maybe this coach can do it because that was a big win. I love his fire.
Let's go back to Georgia. Let's go back to Georgia real quick. Gunnar Stockton, he was a big talking point on Big Noon Kickoff on Saturday, right? And there were all these amazing stats to back up our our concern, our worries about Stockton at quarterback for Georgia. Coming into that game, he had just 10 pass attempts of 10 yards or more, right? There was no vertical game, no nothing. I would argue that to this point, he provided us the pass and the play of the season on that fourth down and hitting that touchdown and that pass where he dropped it in the situation that he was in. I think it's the player of the year so far. Fair?
Dropped it into a bucket, Stoner.
Dropped it.
Man, we challenged him and said that their passing game had been non-existent. Now, we also said on the show that Georgia has been known to be vanilla when they needed to be and show it when they needed to show it. And they showed it when they needed it most. He had a 45-yard pass, 36-yard pass, 31-yard pass. He balled, man. He had no interceptions. He did have one fumble that he lost, but he was able to get this team in position to win the game. They stayed in it. They stayed at it. They didn't give up. Very characteristic of a Kirby Smart coach football team.
You talked vanilla. Coach, is that real? Like, to what percent is that whole vanilla through the opening couple weeks? Like, I know James Franklin is being vanilla right now in Happy Valley with that 3-game preseason schedule he had. Do you go into a season saying, hey, guys, we're going to vanilla it for a couple weeks here?
Yeah, I don't really give the players or assistants too much information because I erred there a few times and all of a sudden they start overlooking opponents. But in my own mind, absolutely, you're going to save a curveball or that circle change for the team that, especially you got a guy like Shiano or Ryan Day, Dan Mullen I had on my staff that's a veteran coach. I'd say, listen, we're going to keep this right. Don't say anything to the players. We're going to keep this little option package or we're going to keep this little package and we're certainly not going to show it. But absolutely that happens. But you better be running in practice to get it ready. You don't want to just first time you roll it out is against the big dogs.
So we gave Gunnar Stockton his flowers, deservedly so. Joey Aguilar, we brought it up, and what he did in a loss,
man.
Yeah, you're right. The story is crazy. Appalachian State transfers to UCLA. Nico-I leaves Tennessee, and Nico drops in
You're
Westwood.
forgetting one thing before Appy State. He quit football. He was a firefighter for a year.
Wow.
Think about
that part.
Wow.
He went to a junior college, went to App State. This is, I looked it up, and it's not getting enough publicity. Non-recruited, junior college, App State, UCLA. UCLA makes the worst trade in the history of the trades. And Tennessee lands this guy that must be, I don't know this guy, but he must be a monster. And I was the first guy, Rob, when Nico left, I said, DUN, done. It's over in Knoxville. How do you lose a quarterback with that talent?
DUN,
I was dead wrong.
done.
Dead wrong. That kid played his ass. I know they lost, but he played his ass off, man.
He did. It wasn't because of him. He did have two
No
interceptions,
chance.
but he had him in position to win the game.
Hey, the folks
Snap,
folks in Orange are feeling good about their quarterback right now,
are.
right? They're like, we won that trade. Not won the trade. We fleeced
trade.
UCLA in the trade.
Is that the
Right.
first trade and worst trade? First and worst?
It's the first trade in
and
college
worst.
football history and possibly the worst trade in college football history. Nico goes to UCLA, winless.
How's that going? Going,
Winless.
Nico? He doesn't have a coach.
And no wins.
Fired their
I
coach.
said,
No coach, no wins.
I said when he left last year, that's going to be, and it actually breaks your heart. The guy's a young player that's as talented. He's going to be one of those moments, and I hope it all works out because I understand he's a great kid too. Why did I do that? Let's
Cautionary tale, right?
We need to have a
Cautionary
little
tale.
meeting here. At some point now you just got to improve, but
We need the
at some
inside.
point you're going to say, hey, tell me again now, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Who
Somebody was in his ear.
him.
I don't know who, but it
Chasing
was
the
somebody.
almighty buck. Chasing the almighty buck. It's going to bite you. It's going to bite you sometimes.
It was somebody in the kid's ear, man. No,
For
I'm
sure.
not blaming the kid.
For sure. So part of that conversation on Sunday, UCLA parted ways with their former star player, their head coach, Deshaun Foster, went 5-10. This was his second season. You kind of knew that was coming. Virginia Tech as well. Brent Pry, awful home loss to Old Dominion. He went 16-24 over 4 seasons. Last week on the Triple Option Coach, we were talking about these big payouts to these head coaches that maybe that will diminish these midseason firings for head coaches. What happened with Coach Foster and Coach Pry, a little bit different in the sense that the buyouts were more manageable, right? In the $6 million range. Again, if you want big numbers, if the folks in Alabama want rid of Kalen DeBoer, you also have to get rid of $63 million. Billy Napier buyout, in the 19 and change. So this was a different type of movement. But man, week 3, I mean, obviously it's part of what these ADs and the school presidents and the boosters saw through the opening 3 weeks, but it definitely goes back. But if you're UCLA, if you're Virginia Tech, 2 proud programs, right?
Yep.
2 programs that resonated at one time in the college football world, it feels like they need a reboot. They need to reassess things. They almost need to go like the Dion route, like the way Colorado rebooted their program, bringing in a guy like Dion who can immediately infuse things. Listen, if Michael Vick is doing things at his new gig, and it's probably not fair to put this pressure on Michael Vick, but to have a Virginia Tech legend like that come
How
back
about
to
Stoner
Blacksburg.
going? Wow, Stoner, you're going right across the bow.
I'm just
there.
saying,
So Michael Vick did Va-Tech. Is that what we're saying?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he will absolutely be on a list. I don't know how deep that list.
I
don't
like
know
it, Stoner.
how high, medium, or low he is, but you have to think about, is Michael Vick the right type of guy? Maybe he isn't, and you move on from him quickly. But Va-Tech, man, Enter Sandman playing, that is one of the best environments in college football.
Man, growing
they deserve
up,
better.
Virginia Tech was always one of them teams that was up there with a chance to win.
One of
You
them
know what I
teams.
mean?
One of them teams, for sure.
There was always one of them ones.
Let's go back to the conversation because I want to make sure there's clarity there. That the conversation was that the ridiculous when someone said, well, I thought you guys said people aren't going to get fired. That was not what was said at all. It's just the monstrous buyouts. And this comes from, I actually spoke to 2 assistant ADs, one last week and one over the weekend. And the comment was the same. We have no money. So the things, when you start seeing the excess revenue that materialized probably, 15 years ago in college sports, where did it go? Coaches' salaries and facilities. I'm wondering if you're going to see the buyouts disappear or they just won't fire guys. And I think the day of the $37 million locker room's over, Mark. From what I'm hearing, there's no money. Remember the Wolverines came out publicly, and I think they said they're going to operate with a $30 million deficit going into this. That was before the fines and everything else. So I think it's going to be really interesting to watch what happens this year with the big buyouts, and I think just for the future facilities, because the money is going probably rightfully where it should go, to the people performing on the field.
It's a developing situation, as we like to say on this side of the camera, right? Developing. Keep an eye on the buyouts and the locker rooms and the facilities and the NIL deals. Listen, those veins, those donors' money veins are getting tapped. And at some point, they're like, I cannot extract any more blood. I cannot extract any more dollar bills for you. I am out of money. I want this. I want this handbag. Look at these Louis Vuitton shoes. I am out of money. We do not have that.
I have Nathan.
We do not have that.
Remember, Florida built that brand new facility with a big pool, and then Clemson with the big slot. You have all these facilities and the spaceship locker rooms, and all of a sudden,
keeping up with the Joneses, man. It's a dangerous game.
I think that's D-U-N, done.
D-U-N, done.
We got to work on Coach's spelling over there.
Hey, no, it makes
I kind of like that.
It hits exactly where it needs to hit home. Done.
Speaking of questionable spelling, how about the Deuce D-A-W-G Dog of the week?
Oh no, that's not how you spell dog. They should just re-spell the word Dawg. D-A-W-G. And I got some dogs for you too, Stoner.
There were a lot of dogs running around the kennel this week.
It's my segment. And it ain't
baby.
no dog this week. It's dogs. And I'm going to start with A&M. With the game winner, Marcel Reed went crazy. 360 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, another 37 on the ground. Game-winning throw, 13 seconds left in the game. Then another dog, his receiver, Mario Craver, 7 catches, 207 yards, coach. 2 tutties, Then I'm going to Georgia Tech, where the man himself carried the Yellow Jackets to a dub. Haynes King single-handedly carried Georgia Tech to a dub. They coach staff need to get him a chiropractor right now because his back is hurting. 211 yards passing, 103 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. That's 3 dogs of the week because they all some dogs.
Mark over-delivering dogs. Well done.
Did you lift yet today? Did you train yet?
Real vascular.
Yeah.
Vascular cat.
There's some energy behind
dog.
that one. That was good.
Yeah, I had my I had my pre-workout and I'm going after this.
Light it.
Breakfast might be the most important choice you make all day. That's because with Wendy's 2 for $3 breakfast, you can mix and match your very own perfect pairing of our delicious morning favorites. With this breakfast deal, the choice is all yours, not someone else's, Mark.
And isn't that how it should be? It's your breakfast after all, not Martha's. She could pick up her own breakfast.
Get your own breakfast, Martha.
This one's all you, Stoner, no matter what you choose. From our sausage biscuit with that grilled breakfast sausage or the egg and cheese biscuit with cracked grade A egg and melty American cheese on a fluffy buttermilk biscuit. A small size of perfectly seasoned potatoes or a medium hot coffee to power through the morning. All you gotta do is pick your ideal morning pair.
You really can't lose because you're the one calling the shots. The choice is all yours. Wake up to Wendy's 2 for $3 breakfast just the way you want it. Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price and participation may vary. No substitutions. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
This college football season is delivering weekly showdowns you don't want to miss. And right now, all customers, every single one of them on FanDuel can score a 50% profit boost for this week's big match on campus between Illinois and Indiana.
Here's how it works. Place a bet on the game, apply your profit boost, and enjoy boosted winnings when your bet hits.
And the best part, Coach, you get paid instantly when you win. Use your boost on bets like spreads, over-unders, team props, and so much more. Don't wait. Visit FanDuel.com/triple option to download the app and boost your next bet on this week's marquee game.
Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.com/. bet.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. What if a quarterback completed 4 out of 5 of his passes, or a first baseman hit a home run 4 out of 5 at bats? Well, now when you're hiring, you too can play at that level, because 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
From healthcare to hospitality to business services, manufacturing, and more, ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And today, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/option. ZipRecruiter doesn't wait for the right candidates to find you. ZipRecruiter scouts top talent for you.
First, when you post your job, ZipRecruiter hustles to start showing it to the most qualified people. Then, ZipRecruiter races to build a roster of great candidates for your job, and you can invite your top picks to apply, to encourage them to apply sooner.
So see for yourself. Go to this exclusive web address to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/option. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/option. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. All right. So if you thought Mark was excitable on that last segment, stand by. I think this one's going to get juicy. I think Coach and I might have a standoff on this one. This is going to be interesting. It is time for Sound Off. So after LSU won at home over Florida by 10, the first question of his post-game press conference did not reach Brian Kelly in the proper fashion. Again, Coach Kelly came out. He talked. We're going to talk about that in a second. And then he opened the floor to questions. Here's question number 1, and here's response number 1.
Brian in the back, I know you love these immediate post-game sessions, but what are you seeing with your offense?
Stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. What do you want me to tell you? I just laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game. We played the game to win the game.
All right. How about third down then? What is going on with third down?
It's one game. Last game, we were great on third down. You're looking at this from the wrong perspective. LSU won the football game. Won the game. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want? You want us to win 70-0 against Florida to keep you happy?
No, I think people want to know why you can't run the ball, quite honestly.
We can run the ball. Did you see the last play of the game? That's all you need. You just need one. There's a ridiculous questions. And I'm getting tired of it. That football team just worked their tail off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled. This team is 17-1 at night. 17-1. Give them some respect. How about that? Give them some respect instead of micro-analyzing every little thing. This is ridiculous. For a group of seasoned reporters, that kind of question is so out of line.
Hey, Coach, that pressure getting to him down there in Baton Rouge, ain't it?
I love
pressure
it.
getting to him. He hear the noise.
I love it.
He hear the noise.
All right, Coach, your immediate reaction to that, and you are speaking from the coaches' fraternity perspective.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I kind of snapped a few times, but he's saying what every coach probably wants to say, and then everybody's got to listen to context. He'll be much different today in the press conference. That was 15 minutes ago from walking out of the locker room where guys, he's got a group of players that he spends more time with than his own family that just found a way to go win a big-time ball game, and you get peppered right away. So, yeah, I love it. Was that a bad question? I don't know that. But it's like sometimes you look and you're like, oh, are you kidding me? But, you just got to take it, and I think it's great. And if anybody
Coach, you
wants
just
to
got to let it
criticize
run off
Brian
your back
Kelly,
like water. Like when you respond like that, clearly something's getting to you. You are hearing something, and it's getting to you, and he couldn't take it no more.
Yeah.
He just spazzed on Buddy. Like,
How about this? Let
I
me-
love it
let
though.
me
You
start-
know what? Once again, for Mark
he's standing
understands
up
it.
for
I
his
understand
players,
it.
man.
I think you understand it to a degree, Mark, Rob, because you played sports and you just walked out of a locker room. I bet 6 minutes before that conversation, he just sang the fight song with his players, had a good talk, hugged his guys up. Guys are hurting. Guys are probably, guys injured in there, and then they start, and you know what? Give them a little grace and have at it. Coach Kelly, I thought it was great. Stick up for him and move on. He'll be a much different tone once you decompress after a couple of days.
Yeah, I didn't see it as sticking up for his team. I saw it more as I'm coming after you. Let me start with a quick quiz here, right? And I'm gonna throw this at Mark. Mark, Brian Kelly, how many SEC titles has he won in his 3 years in Baton Rouge?
Nathan.
That would be nothing. How many playoff appearances does he have down there? Nathan. How much money is he making to start spouting off at reporters
whole
about
lot,
things
a
like
lot
that?
of-
A whole lot.
I
of
see
something.
you, Rob.
Yeah, I know. I got agitated, but I also listen. I've never met Coach Kelly. I'm respectful for what he's done. I went back prior to that soundbite, and Coach came in and he addressed the media, and this is what he said. And my point being, he came into that media session ready to fight. Right? He said, "We did whatever it was necessary to win the game. We were trying to win the game. Totally get it." But he's already trying to put people in this perspective of like, hey, I know this wasn't great, but this is why we were doing it. Again, I respect it. I get it. Playing to our defense. Sorry, that doesn't sound appealing to you folks, but I don't really care. And then he opens it up to questions. Okay. All right. So clearly to me, as a bystander, he came in with an agenda, right? And he knew, I think, also what was coming his way because he's probably a little agitated at his offense as well, right? And he's saying, hey, my defense was amazing.
Sure.
Got this huge SEC win. Love it. I agree with it. But he knew questions were coming about his offense, right? By the way, am I supposed to come in with brownies and sprinkle cupcakes and just sit there and laud plaudits on you and congratulate? Should we all stand up and applaud Brian Kelly has come into the room because he won an SEC game over Florida? Our job on the media is to what? Ask questions. He knows that. He knows that coming in, and for him to go after and belittle these people. And listen, maybe there's a history with that reporter, right? And you're right, Coach. There are reporters out there who find those thorns and like to dig in, and I get it. But if you're being paid that much money, sit there, take the question, answer it, and move on. I felt he was ducking the question, right? I felt like Coach Kelly, if he had his way at that moment, it would have been an index card of, hey, everybody, I'm handing out cards. These are questions you can ask.
Hey, the reporter funny though. He said, "I think we just want to know why you can't run the football."
So that takes me to another part.
So
here's
here's another context. Because
I'm loving this, by the way.
My intro was always this. Hey guys, thanks for coming. I'll take some questions.
There you go.
That was including Big Ten Media Days. Some guys go up there for an hour and a half and start babbling.
Yeah.
I would say I'll take a couple questions, and I would always count backwards by 10 if I saw some clown out there that I knew was trying to stir something up. But yeah, I mean, we're making a big deal out of something. The guy, once again, I guess I'm always.
It's Monday. It's overreaction Monday, Coach.
This is what we do, man. This is what we do.
Hey, but what's funny is what you said, Stone. He
You
came
said we
in
in the
there and he
media. I'm
marked
not
his
the media.
ground. He marked his ground.
Yeah,
And
he peed around that podium.
he
right?
marked his ground,
Yeah.
and then it made everybody else mark their ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you want to know you want to know what you didn't do on third down, but we want to know why you can't run the football.
Yeah.
Did you see the
So-
last play? That's all you need.
It's amazing to me the dynamics. And again, Coach, you're at the podium. Mark, you're at the podium. I've been the guy who's been on the other side of the podium, staring at people that you really respect and have a lot of power. And I've been in those rooms where you need to get to these questions. You need to ask about the offense. You need to ask about the running game, right? You have to get there. But you want to read the room and you don't want to start with it. Right. So I guarantee you that collection of human beings in there, whether that was student reporters, local affiliates, whoever it was waiting for somebody to ask the first question because everybody else was hands on my seat. Like, I'm not going there. I'm not doing it. I'm going to get them. I'm going to ask that in maybe 2 or 3, but you want to read the room, right? So maybe you could take one for the team, which is what I would do sometimes. Like, let me just throw up a little softball. Let me make sure coach is good here, right? Let's do this. Now we can start hitting things. I remember when I was in Tampa Bay, I was a young buck reporter, guys, and I knew there were dudes in the locker room I could go to, win or lose, to get great sound bites and get proper, intelligent conversation. There were other dudes that legitimately scared me, but I knew I had to go talk to them. Warren Sapp was a dude who legitimately scared me. You're laughing already because Mark. And there would be this collection of humans that were like me surrounding a changing Warren Sapp, like an awful situation, right? The poor guy is out of the shower. He's in a surly mood. He's got probably a little packet between his cheek and gums, right? And he's in no mood to talk to anybody. And I get it. But it's my job to talk to Warren Sapp because he's a big star and he was a big part of this game. And all of us would be assembled around Warren Sapp and no one would say a thing. And I would look at these people and I'm like, you people are chicken shit. You are scared. I'm scared. I am
Damn,
petrified.
Rob's all over this one, man.
I am. I was petrified to talk to him, but I'm like, this is my job. This is what I have elected to do as a profession, and I want to move up the food chain. So I'm going to take that bullet, and I'm going to put that microphone out, and I'm going to ask Warren Sapp about that third down play or whatever it was. And
but why so scared? It's not like he's going to turn around and whip your ass.
Oh, man. You should have seen
like
some of his responses. Listen, you're up here. You're like Mr. Sapp, or whatever it is. And he's coming with heat, right? Yeah. Like he is bringing the heat at you. He is in attack mode, but you got to do it. You got to take it for the team. So it's a really interesting dance, I think, Coach. I think you see things differently now that you've been on our side a little bit, but it's tough. You want to be respectful for everybody and you want to ask appropriate questions and do your job, but sometimes it's tough, man. Sometimes it's ugly.
Everybody wants the inside scoop on what it's like to be a football player and be a football team. Well, when you get it, then you get offended because it's a high energy, high emotional gig, and it's not for everybody.
No, it's not. Hey, guess what? The other side is pretty high energy, high stress as well, and it's not for everybody. All right, that was our fresh take of the week presented by Wendy's.
Stoner.
Wake up with Wendy's breakfast. Coming up next, we're going to talk the NFL draft with our great friend Todd McShay from The Ringer. Then later, we go 3 and out and make our 4 picks. There are 3 ranked games this week. The head coach of one of those teams just texted me this morning. I'm going to tell you what he said coming up
flex.
Next.
Subtle flex.
Subtle, maybe unsubtle.
Light it.
Welcome back to the Triple Option presented by Wendy's. Every month, that's right, every month we have secured that man, Todd McShay of The Ringer, to talk about some of the top NFL draft prospects in college football with us. We had a great week 3 in college football. There's a lot to dissect. Coach, let's go to the position that matters the most.
I've never seen a spider helmet. I have now. I see it
Richmond.
It's been there forever.
Yeah, so it's kind of a tough week to be flaunting the spider helmet after
Go Heels.
After the fighting Belichick's put it on us. But yeah, I'm proud
I
of
ain't gonna lie, the spider looks kind of hard on the helmet, though.
It's pretty good, right?
Little
Yeah, it is.
arachnophobia.
All right, Brother McShay, let's go here. So I got your quarterbacks top 5. You had Nussmeier, Sellers, Klubnik, Mendoza, and Mateer. And there's some up and downs there. I'm going to ask you to do your stock up, stock down, but I'm also going to throw a couple names in there. What in the world is going on with Arch? I was reading today. I haven't watched. I'm going to watch him today. You got Arch. You got, my gosh, Nico. I thought it last year was as talented a quarterback as I've seen. And then, Nuss is winning games, but he's not putting up the numbers. So give us a little stock up, stock down on your quarterbacks.
Urban, coming into the year, remember last year, like the quarterback class was not great coming off of that 2024 group where we had a record-setting 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first 12 picks, Bo Nix being the 6th one. And then last year we had, it was the Cam Ward Shador debate. And we all saw how that played out in the end, with Jackson Dart being the second quarterback taken and Shador falls to the 5th round. This year, just talking to scouts around the league and putting together the preseason list and watching tape, I was like, oh, we get a chance to have a special group, right? Because like those names, right? Arch was never going to be in the 2026 class. I mean, talking to people who are like close to that situation, if he came out and had a brilliant year, and if the bubble in Austin became just too small, and maybe he would have considered it. But the plan was always 2027, right? And the same plan for Eli and for Peyton before him. So I think we all now, after 3 weeks, can kind of move on from that discussion, and hopefully he can turn things around and he'll be in contention to be the number 1 pick in 2027. But we've seen some of these really talented quarterbacks, Coach, like they're not playing to the level. Now, we've had Carson Beck play really well at Miami. Mendoza hasn't played anyone for Indiana, but so far that looks really, really good in that offensive system. We've seen Sawyer Robertson from Baylor has been firing. He's a really talented player who I think has been under the radar for a while. Aiden Childs at Michigan State. Nobody really knows about this guy, but super talented, right? And John Mateer. John Mateer is a blast to watch. And it's going to be fun to see kind of what NFL teams are thinking about him. But if he continues to play at this level and can cut out a couple of the mistakes, he's got a chance to kind of continue to push up the rankings. But Arch hasn't played well. We can get to that in a second. Klubnik has struggled at Clemson, right? You talked about Nussmeier. They're doing what they need to win. What's your thoughts on Nuss?
What's your thoughts?
I love Nuss.
Yeah,
I'm bullish on Nuss because I think mentally he understands the game is like, you might have to go back to Andrew Luck to see some of the pre-snap stuff and the motions and setting protections and kind of working that angle. I think, the suddenness in the pocket, the accuracy, the throwing with anticipation, everything that you look for when evaluating a quarterback, he has, but he's not the level of mobility that we've come to see with a lot of top guys. He does move around well, but it's not Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. He's not one of those next great. I don't even like using dual threat quarterback, but mobile, dangerous weapons with his legs. So I think there's a physical traits ceiling to him that you'd like it to be a little bit higher, but I just trust him. And I hope the season continues to get better and they kind of figure some things out offensively. They got 4 new starting offensive linemen, some new faces in terms of his weapons. But hopefully he continues to improve as the season progresses. I thought he actually played really well against Clemson. Didn't think it was the case against Florida. Klubnik has not played to the level. I was hoping he was going to take another step. And
what are you seeing? What's missing with Klubnik? That's an enigma. What the heck's going on there?
He's not playing loose. I see a quarterback who comes into games and is like a little too amped up. The pressure has been on him, both tangible, right? Like pass rush pressure. And I don't know, you've watched Clemson now, 2 bigger games. Do they look like a team that's playing free, loose, easy, like go out there and do our thing? Like I was saying the other day, it looks like they're like pushing a crater uphill. Every drive, it's like the pressure of the world is on them. And the offensive line's not playing to the level. They've had an injury. They've kind of been, 7 guys kind of playing in and out. Their running back, Randall's really talented as a runner, can't pass protect. And so they're working through some stuff. And then they lose their number 1 target in the first quarter of that game against LSU, and Antonio Williams. And it seems like Klubnik has not gotten into his rhythm, and he's not like, think back to that Pittsburgh game, right? Last year,
right?
Where he takes off and runs. And he has the game-winning touchdown. But throughout that game, like he was carrying.
Right.
Now it feels like he's playing tense. And Arch, watching his tape, and I'll be interested to see what you have to say about him after you go back and really study it. When he actually gets his feet set and throws the ball and delivers, he's been really good. But that's like 1 out of every 3 or 4 attempts that he's doing that. I just think he's gotten so used to his body's parallel to the line of scrimmage and just kind of like flicking and on the run. He's, for a guy who's in the Manning family and has had all the coaching that he's had, and has brought in like college coordinators to coach him in high school and been around Eli and Peyton. I'm surprised that his footwork, you always hear that marrying your eyes to your feet. And that's all about like, you're going through progressions, let's say left to right. Your feet better come with you, or else when you're ready to pull the trigger, if you're like this instead of like this.
Well, let me ask you, let's hold that thought because this is really intriguing. Has Patrick Mahomes hurt that? Because he is such a arm slot, throw off balance. And when I was a young quarterback coach and young head coach, you would never let your guy do that. It was very disciplined. Your eyes are married to your feet.
Mahomes messed everything up, coach. Mahomes like he did.
But every quarterback now is trying to be Mahomes.
I know.
I mean, it's everywhere.
From Dominic Raiola to everybody else.
So
yes.
You said it, not me. Mahomes screwed it up. Is that what you said?
He messed it all up. Because I remember watching Mahomes being like, this ain't going to work. Like you can't have this horrible footwork. And I was so obsessed, like you were as a young coach, with like ball carriage, feet underneath you, feet married to your eyes, balance, strong base to throw, hip rotation, all that stuff. And then Mahomes comes in, and I got too caught up in the process of the delivery and not in the result. And I know Nick Saban and coaches like you and everyone, it's all about the process. Well, he was this rare cat where the result, you better watch the result because the process like is different. And John Mateer is the same way. You guys, I don't know if you're into golf at all. Scotty Scheffler is the perfect example for anyone who's into golf. I remember early in his career, his footwork is a mess, different than everyone else's. And when he wasn't the number one player in the world, it was like, if he could just get his feet right and he's, that front foot opens and he's kind of up, but the result is so perfect. But if everybody else tried to swing like Scheffler, it probably would be a disaster, right? And so Mateer is a lot more like Mahomes, and he's got these fullback legs. He generates torque, and he's happier. He's in his happy place when like he's off, even when he has all the pocket around him and the play is perfectly lined up and his first read's there. He doesn't like throwing on balance and all the things that you used to coach and all like good quarterback coaches teach. And so they're exceptions to the rule. But I think your point is exactly right. I think too many young quarterbacks think they can be the exception to the rule when really like the rule it works for the vast majority.
Just like Steph Curry did in the NBA,
Yeah,
everyone wants to
exactly,
shoot these threes. Like,
yes,
right.
That was great.
I'm gonna call it Shade Day. Shade Day. I love when we got you on, man. Shade Day. But no, we earlier we talked about the Nico for Joey Aguilar trade. Is it the first trade in college football history? Is it the worst trade in college football history? No, we've been discussing it, but we've seen how the results played on the field. How do you see that NFL teams are approaching these guys who are transferring to chase money or at different schools, 3-4 different schools? How do you feel like the NFL is viewing these guys?
They're kind of over it, right? Like I think at first it was a thing, but now that it's become the norm in college football, you've got to kind of sift through it. There are individuals that are chasing the money, and there are players that have tags on them, and a lot of it comes from the family pressure and what's in their life and kind of the supporting cast. And you're always as a scout. I spend more time now talking to scouts about players' character, their upbringing, who's in their life, the guys, the folks that they're hanging around with. Is it a girlfriend who's a Cancer? Is it a parent that is sucking off the teat, if you will? Like I spend more time talking to scouts about that than I do like he's great in and out of his breaks. Right. Or did you see the hand placement or like the way he gets.
That started to me about 10 years ago.
100%.
Todd, I mean, it was crazy how every conversation I would have as a head coach was that. And I was like,
character.
Aren't you going to ask about the in and out of cut, like you said, and it's all the other stuff. It's amazing.
You get ready to pay somebody millions, you got to make sure they're the right person. Character.
I think it's access now, right? Like we live in a different world with access, whether it's tape. There used to be like some grizzly 30-year scout would be on the road and he'd we called it finding a diamond in the rough and like he would get a couple more tapes of this player from like a directional school, right? And all of a sudden you draft a player that no one heard their name in the 5th round. It just doesn't happen anymore. I like literally the games are over 3 hours later. I can access any single player, not only the game for that offense or defense and the coach copy cut up on this Exos catapult system with the PFF Ultimate, but I also can just go and look at the 12 or 16 or 22 key plays from that game. Or I can look at like routes run from 10 to 20 yards. Like, so the access, and then the access of analytics and all the other information that's out there. There's no like unearthing of players now. And everyone knows the same thing about their football, like their tape, what they put on tape. What's different is now like, all right, it's easier to stack a board talent wise, but figuring out who the guys that absolutely love ball. Marty Schottenheimer, I worked with him for 1 year at ESPN. He had the best line that I'll never forget. So the hardest part of evaluating a player getting ready for the draft, Todd, is you better figure out, because it's one of the hardest things that that we as evaluators have. What is this human being going to do with more money, more fame, and more free time than he's ever had before?
Right.
So I think that's why we are where we are with scouting in the NFL.
But like we've seen like, Jay and Daniels, he, had his kind of transfer, it kind of worked out well, even with Cam Ward. I'm wondering like, it must be like the character as opposed, because I'm like with the Nico thing and all these different players, like even in the draft, you see sometimes there's 4 different highlights from a team. Like how are these? I'm just interested to see how these.
Mark, I think here's the question you have to ask yourself. It's the why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why did he transfer?
Right.
Is he chasing the money? Did he not want to compete? Those are the two things. Is this a guy that's just he's a mercenary? Is he chasing the money?
Right.
Does he not have a commitment to team and being a part? And was he faced with a difficult training camp, a fall camp battle that he just didn't want to be involved in, and found it's the easier route to go somewhere else? Or is he an Aguilar, right? Who was doing that hour and a half commute from home to up in San Francisco to community college, and being there from leaving at 4:30 in the morning, coming back at 10 at night, like just to get a chance to have an opportunity. And now he gets this awesome opportunity at UCLA. It's ripped from him. And Tennessee's like, why don't you come here? And so like those kind of stories are bonuses.
Right.
Whereas the Nico thing is just the opposite, right?
Right. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it.
Todd, coming up, Coach is going to talk about the stable of quarterbacks in the Big Ten and how deep and loaded it is this year. I agree. I would also argue that the Big 12 is sneaky good at the quarterback spot. Who are some of the big names from the Big 12 that jump out at you?
I'm a big backer of Sawyer Robertson from Baylor. And I know they lost their first game. That's a good Auburn team. Not saying it's great, but that's a good Auburn football team. And they can't play defense, but offensively, you just look at, he's 6'4", 220, moves around well, throws off platform well. He's not perfect, but there's a lot to work with there. And the way he's slinging the ball and keeping his team in games, coming from behind, the amount of hits he's taken, that Auburn game, and then most recently a couple of weeks ago, like he's finding ways to keep his team competitive, even though everything seems to be working against him. I love guys like that. Avery Johnson hasn't quite played to the level. Sam Levitt, super talented. It kind of got a little bit more on track this past week. Jordan Tyson, his wide receiver, had a monster game. I'm interested to see the improvement as the season progresses, but saw some kind of flaws in the ointment early on. Rocco Beck has played well. I think he's got talent. He continues to progress, cutting down on some of the mistakes. So I'm sure I'm missing some. But
how about Hoover at TCU?
Oh, Hoover. How fun is he to watch? Hoover's fun, man.
I saw him live Saturday. That dude can play now.
Todd
He may
McShay.
not have the height that a lot of people want. I think that might scare people off, but that dude is accurate and gets it.
He rips it.
Hey, back to this quarterback.
Oh,
thing.
you're
I
blowing
wanna
off
get
Hoover. Hold on, Coach.
No, I want to
give the frogs
the
some
expert
love
here. So I was talking to Matt Leinart and Brady Quinn. And I was watching the Bryce Underwood, who, by the way, I know I'm a Buckeye and I'm getting killed because I think he might be the most talented quarterback I've seen in a while. But
he's something, man.
You notice all the quarterbacks delivery because of the whole that they teach it's a completely different mindset.
I know.
When you look at Brady Quinn, Matt Leinart, the quarterbacks I've coached, it was always you're trying to get over the top.
Tom
all
Brady,
these guys,
like all the way up there.
Everyone here they're here now. And it's an amazing
my son's
thing
out
to
there
watch.
throwing, and it's driving me nuts. I'm like, would you get your elbow up? And then I bring him to see like a really good quarterback coach. He's 10, by the way. So and I love you, Tate, but you're my son. So like there is a ceiling on this whole thing. But like working with, and they don't care about it. It's all about hip rotation and like ball
and
out,
torque.
coming around, and torque.
Yeah.
And it works, and guys are slinging. I went to that Manning Passing Academy, Urban.
Yeah.
And I'm just pulling in it's the first time I'd ever been pulling in, and you've got like hundreds. I think there are 1,200 quarterbacks there from like 7th grade on up. And so like Nussmeier and Sellers and Klubnik and all those guys are the counselors. And during the day, they have throwing things at night. It's like Friday Night Lights. If you've never been, you gotta check it out. It's like the purest thing still left in this game, right?
Wow.
But watching all these quarterbacks, and I walk in the stadium, and there's like 1,200 of these robots that they've got the medicine balls, and they're all doing this with the shoulders, and then they get the ball. And then they get the ball out, and they're all the same mechanics, but the ball is like, you can hear it from like 7th, 8th graders. Like the quarterback position is such, it's such a higher level than it was. And I'm talking like globally than it ever has been before. It's fascinating to watch.
The Todd McShay Show on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find them all the time. Todd, as always, thanks for joining us, and we will have you monthly throughout the season. We love it more. We love it more. Todd, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, Todd.
Welcome back to the Triple Option presented by Wendy's. Rob, Mark, Urban back here with you. Time to go 3 and out this week. We're going to pick 3 quarterbacks that we feel have played the best, but we got to have some different categories. And by the way, can we go back to the beginning of the season here, guys, and the quarterbacks that we were talking about, like Heisman's, Arch and Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik, Nico, Lenora Sellers. Like we had this plethora of what we thought, and the viewers out there thought were top tier quarterbacks, and so many of them have not hit the mark yet. Again, we've only played 3 weeks. Let's start with Coach. And the Big Ten, by the way, absolutely loaded at the QB spot.
Yeah, historically, that's not been the case. I remember I first got to the Big Ten, we felt like if we stopped the run, we'd win. There were not enough good quarterbacks and receivers in the Big Ten to compete, and that was true. It's a completely different animal now, and I think Ohio State's kind of led the charge in the last 6-7 years with first-rounders at quarterback, first-rounders at receiver, but everyone else is following suit, and so Jerry DiNardo and I in Big Ten Network, we actually went through the Big Ten quarterbacks, Mark. They're all over the place. And I got 3 guys that I think are, you know what, it's amazing. When I complimented Bryce Underwood, Mark, my phone blew up. People were saying, what the hell's wrong with you? You're complimenting a Wolverine. I said, I used to compliment him all the time. You don't have to like him, but you better show respect. And I'm telling you, that guy, talent for talent, he might be as good as I've seen in a while. He can run. And you know what? They added in something in this, I think it was the second quarter, 12 minutes left in the second quarter, a Q run.
Yeah.
And the whole world just took notice because you start adding that into that offense, he's going to be a tough one. So Bryce Underwood, I know he's started slow against Oklahoma, but he's going to be
your
a
top
monster.
quarterback in the Big Ten, Bryce
No.
Underwood?
I'm giving you 3 names.
Okay.
Dante Moore is the best quarterback right now in the Big Ten.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's playing tremendous, 78%, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick. Another guy, DeMond Williams, 69% completion rate, 2 touchdowns. And I'm giving Julian Sayin an honorable mention. You can't, when you're beating teams, you should beat by 40 points. That doesn't mean anything. And then in the first game against Texas, he did what he was supposed to do. He's got 8 touchdowns, 3 picks, and 80% completion rate. But I know I'm just pumping this Big Ten up. Aiden Childs.
Yes.
At Michigan State. Where do we see? I don't know if you guys seen him yet.
I have.
He's a dude. He's a dude.
He's a dude.
You have Jaden Mayava at USC, and then the one guy we're not even talking about, which we're going to be to be determined, is Drew Aller. So the Big Ten's loaded.
By the way, you didn't mention Nico.
I had him down here, but
yeah, he's
I'll
down there.
him
Well,
at
that's the point. He's down there.
Still talent, man.
Man.
Yes, I hope he rebounds, and I hope he can figure things out in Westwood. All right, so those are the top quarterbacks in the Big Ten. Mark, your take? Are you just going like the best three dudes at quarterback we've seen this season?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go. Three guys who I've been impressed with.
Yeah.
The three guys who have impressed me the most so far this season. I'm gonna go number one, Carson Beck. Last year, Georgia, everyone was against him. Kind of had the injury, you know what I mean? And we didn't know what we would see from Carson Beck. And he's been straight balling this year for the Hurricanes. 812 yards, 7 touchdowns, 79.3 completion percentage, 82% versus USF last week, Stoner.
That's a
So
big
the man,
number.
he's had a veteran presence for this Hurricanes team. He's playing efficient, winning football, and he is just brought his best down to South Florida. So
I gotta admit, I wasn't a believer in Beck coming into the season. There was just something about him that I didn't fully trust, but
Yep.
A really impressive win Saturday. And it's, that completion percentage, Mark, it's not like he's only thrown it 12 times a game.
Right.
Right? I mean, they're throwing it, and against some pretty decent talent, too.
Exactly. And he'll have this is just early in the season, so he'll have time to continue to prove us right or wrong. You know what I mean? So Carson Beck, that's the first guy I'm going with who has impressed me so far this season. Number 2, Boomer Sooner.
Say his name.
John Mateer, the dual threat quarterback. 944 yards, 5 touchdowns in the air, 4 touchdowns rushing. He has thrown 3 interceptions, but he is playing winning football for Oklahoma. The Sooners are a tough out for anybody right now with Brett Venables and John Mateer and his dual threat ability. Their passing attack. John Mateer is the second quarterback who has impressed me so far this year.
By the way, they start getting some more of those wins in SEC play when that fires up, Mark. Heisman
Hopeful.
Conversation going to
keep growing
for
Gonna
Mateer.
keep growing. And then the third guy, who might surprise some people, or it might not, Marcel Reed.
Yeah, let's go.
Marcel Reed. Let me just tell you, this guy has 869 yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception on the year. Add that 142 yards rushing and a rush touchdown. So he's over 1,000 yards and 10 total touchdowns in just 3 games. And what did he do last week against Notre Dame? He dropped them down to 0-2. He had 360 yards against the Notre Dame defense, who we all respect. 2 touchdowns, and he had the game-winning touchdown pass with 13 seconds left in the game. Those are the 3 guys who have impressed me the most this season. And, hey, still early, but had to show them 3 dudes some love. For
How
sure.
about that play against Notre Dame, at Notre Dame, the back shoulder to the wheel route? Unbelievable.
The man's balling.
Yep.
The man's balling. Last year, we knew him as only a guy who kind of had, athletic ability and can run. But this year, he's showing that arm off.
Get it.
A&M.
Get it loose in the bullpen. Is this how you would warm up your arm? You think, Coach, did you ever warm up your arm like this when you were playing minor league ball? Yeah,
Of course.
Throw that sucker around.
Can you
We
not
didn't do
throw?
all
I
that
forgot you
stuff
was a
they
soccer
didn't have.
player, bro.
Oh, you did that. Yeah,
We
you
didn't
did
have the
fancy
Tom
stuff,
House.
some band crap. Tired of all those bands. All right, I'm gonna talk about 3 quarterbacks that folks aren't giving enough attention to. And Coach, you rightfully said the Big Ten really loaded at quarterback. Guess what? So is the Big 12. All right. Number 1, a guy that we are going to see in person Saturday in Salt Lake City, Baron Morton at Texas Tech. He has the most passing touchdowns of any active quarterback, 60 after he put in 4 more on Saturday in the big home win over Oregon State. He's almost already at 1,000 yards passing this season. He will get there Saturday, assuming he stays healthy at Utah. Has 11 touchdowns this season. He's already at 11. He's already at double digits. 1 interception. His completion percentage, and again, this is a program that throws the rock a ton, is at 70%. He's averaging over 11 yards a completion. Really looking forward to seeing what Morton is like live in a real setting Saturday at Utah. Number 2, I'm going to stay in the QB-rich Big 12. You know where I'm going, don't you guys?
Yeah.
When I put this up, you know where I'm going. I'm going to the Fort. TCU's Josh Hoover. Mark, guess his completion percentage through 2 games. Only 2 games.
90%.
Wow. Okay. No. Temper the expectation. I thought 76 was really good, and you mark out a 90. You're killing me. 76%. Again, that's against North Carolina.
You said guess. I thought it was going to be extremely high.
I thought it was high, 76. And then against Abilene Christian on Saturday. They already had a bye week as well. Of course, SMU coming to the fort this Saturday. That's going to be a great game. 6 touchdowns, had 2 in that week 1 game at Carolina, 4 more Saturday night at home. There was a reason that a ton of programs, including a Tennessee, came after him in the offseason, but he elected to stay in the fort. Josh Hoover, please remember that name. And then, is anybody giving Arkansas's Taylon Green credit? Last year, threw for over 3,100 yards, 15 touchdowns, but 9 interceptions. This year, he has upped his completion percentage rate already. I know it's early, from 60 to 69%. And he's already thrown for 11 touchdowns, just 2 picks. Taylon Green. Watch out for him, man. He's going to be causing problems in the SEC. Time now for the 2-minute drill. It's brought to you by FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/triple option to download the app and take advantage of a 50% profit boost today. Let's start in the Big Ten. 2 3-0 programs. Number 9, Illinois at number 19, Indiana. Hoosiers favored by 4.5, over under 52.5. Both these programs right now have top 10 offenses and defenses. The Illini, remember, returned a ton of starters. They've got a 3-headed rushing attack that head coach Brett Bielema talked about us in the offseason here on the triple option. The problem, though, has been protecting the quarterback. They returned the entire offensive line, right? You'd think things would be settled and safe in Champaign. Luke Altmaier has been sacked 9 times already. That is 5th most in the NCAA. The Hoosiers, you know how they tuned up for this one on Saturday, guys?
How'd they do that?
They had Indiana State in town. How do you think that one went? Mark, you can throw a high number at this time. 73. 73-0.
I was going to say 80.
80. Again, I can't please you, Mark Ingram. Redshirt junior quarterback Fernando Mendoza, the Cal transfer. In that game, 19 for 20, 270, 5 touchdowns through the air. The Hoosiers, again, I'm kind of looking at this through the lens of what's still to come, right? They have road trips to Oregon. They have road trips to Penn State.
Wow.
Let's just say those are losses, right? And those would be, assuming it's kind of close, good losses. If they can couple those good losses with a early top 10, again, Illinois in the top 10, a good top 10 win, there very much is a path back to the playoffs for the Hoosiers. This is going to be one of the biggest games in Bloomington in recent years. I, however, like the Illini to cover. And by the way, the Illini, the following week, host USC next week. I believe in you, Coach Bielema. I believe in Illinois this week. All right, Coach, where we're going, Salt Lake City, number 17, Texas Tech at number 16, Utah. The Utes home, favored by 3, over under 56.5.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to try to be non-biased. I can't do that. Salt Lake,
working?
Man. No, it's not. It's not going to work. This is all Salt Lake. You guys get to experience a place. I spent 2 years. I was talking to the AD, assistant AD. You know, Mark, they averaged about 12,000 people per game in 2002. In 2003, a young coach came in there from Bowling Green, and our staff, Dan Mullen and everybody, and kept a guy named Kyle Whittingham as a defense coordinator. We were picked to finish last in the Mountain West Conference, and I think we went 24-2. 55,000 people per game. You're going to see the best student body, the Muss. So I can't wait for everybody to experience that. But Devin Dampier, the quarterback, came. How about the package deal? He came with Jason Beck, the offense coordinator from New Mexico. This quarterback, I watched him. He didn't play great against Wyoming, but he did against UCLA. This guy's a freak. He's Kyler Murray-ish. Not real big, runs all over the field. Athlete, I'm going to pick Utah to have a big home field advantage win on Big Noon, and Utah covers the spread and wins the game.
Ooh, the AD at Texas Tech, my name dropping. I don't know why I was saying head coach, but the AD, Kirby Hocutt, texted me this morning. I don't know how he got my number, but I'm cool with it. He says, Rob, Kirby Hillcutt, Texas Tech. We look forward to this weekend. Going to be an exciting game. Let us know if you want any tortillas to throw on the set. I go, hell yeah, we want tortillas. We don't find people on our show. It's like, all right, they'll be waiting for you all. So, Mark, get ready to make those tortillas and throw them at my face from 3.5 feet away. Rushing me last year, man. What a
spot. Have you been to Salt Lake, Rob?
I have.
Mark, have you been there?
No, sir.
It's gorgeous,
gonna blow you away. So Salt Lake, when I got hired the year before the Olympics were there, we did everything. The brand new stadium, brand new dorms, brand new. I mean, it's spectacular.
Yeah, I've been to Salt Lake, but I haven't been to Utah's campus yet, so I'm looking forward to that.
Spectacular.
It is nice. Hosted the opening ceremonies for the Winter Olympics.
Ooh.
Not Coach, Mark. We're talking about John Mateer, right? Like he starts getting some of these big SEC wins. We're going to be talking more and more about him in the Heisman race. Number 11, Oklahoma and Mateer at 3-0. They host number 22, Auburn. The Barners are unbeaten well this Saturday.
They ain't played nobody.
The Sooners are favored by 4.5. The over-under feels a little low, 47.5.
It's not low, Stoner, because these two teams are playing some defense.
Yeah,
so let's start with Oklahoma.
John Mateer's on the field, man.
John Mateer is on the field. We know about his dual threat ability, his big game pose, his yardage output. The man is straight balling, and he's going to need it because they have the downfield explosive passing attack. But Auburn, their front seven, they get pressure on the quarterback. They have like at least 6 players with 1 sack, and they've been balling. So he's going to be able to use his legs to mitigate that disruptive front seven that Auburn has. But Oklahoma, they have defensive playmakers as well. Kip Lewis, he's one of their anchors of the defense, man. Quick to the ball, high tackle count, home field advantage in Norman. We know how that is. Then let's talk Barners. You know I don't like to talk Barners, but we'll talk Barners. They have Jackson Arnold, the former Oklahoma quarterback, coming back to Norman. So you know he's going to want to show his butt.
Started 10 games for the Sooners at this time in Norman over 2 seasons.
Yep. He has some great wide receivers. Cam Coleman, 6'3", 5-star freshman last year. He is a matchup nightmare. Eric Singleton Jr., speed on the outside. They have all the returning starters on the offensive line. They run the football, so they are balanced on offense. Going against a great Oklahoma defense under Brett Venables. And but like I said, their front seven is Auburn's front seven is tough, man. So it's going to provide a challenge for Oklahoma. But you know I'll never go Auburn. You know I'll never root Auburn. So in this game, what's it, -4.5? Is that what you said? -4.5?
Yeah, 4.5.
So I'd either buy
You're
the
not going to
point-
say Auburn's going to cover, are you?
I would never say they're going to cover.
Okay.
I would never say Auburn's going to cover. But a confident bet is Oklahoma outright. But if you want upside, go ahead and bet to -4.5 because I do see Oklahoma and John Mateer winning by at least a touchdown. So if you want a confident bet, 100% guaranteed bet, go money line Oklahoma. If you want the upside and you want to take the money, go ahead and bet the spread -4.5. I got the John Mateer and the Fighting Sooners covering this at least by a touchdown.
I like when you guys make your picks with your heart. It's no way to go through. You got to be careful doing those heart picks, man. You got to be careful doing those heart picks.
I ain't going to lie. The last 3 picks, money picks, I didn't put my money on it too. So we won and we lost. But we going to keep on keeping on because we're going to win this week.
Hey, by the way, you got some money for Alabama NIL that you just earned this week, right?
Thank you, Big Cat.
Big Cat was
got
trying to
money
force
going
your
to
hand
the-
into
to
a
the
So did you
Bama
take the
not
point?
wanna
Did you give points?
I gave them 21 points, and we won by 24. They had the ball at the end of the game going to drive, and they ran out of time, Coach. So guess who wins? Your boy. Roll Tide Nation. We got some NIL money coming from Big Cat.
Roll damn
Is that
Tide.
Ingram? Is that the Ingram 5 NIL or is it actually Alabama NIL?
The Ingram 5, we're going to open up our own NIL, but, you know, this is going to the Crimson Tide Nation.
That's usually the answer right there. I need some time. Let me make
what happened was...
Let me make some kind of sound to buy myself some time. I always do this when I'm like, what's that? What'd you say
What'd
again?
you say?
Huh? One more
Ingram
time? Oh, I
5.
heard what you said. Let me get my
You
brain
hung,
going.
you can hear. You hung, you can hear.
Make sure to follow, subscribe, and rate us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is you get your podcast. And you can also find us on social media, 3X Option Show. Please leave those comments as well. We'd love to answer them on the show. Thanks, as always, to our great sponsors, Wendy's, ZipRecruiter, and FanDuel. Enjoy the football this weekend. If you were in Salt Lake City, we will see you bright and early Saturday morning.